A man leaves $450,000 worth of stuff in a taxi.
Did the taxi driver return it?
I'm Charles, from Alabama. Let's talk about that.
Good mythical morning!
This episode is brought to you by Smule, makers of amazing musical iPhone and iPad applications.
Including Magic Guitar, the app that turns your iPad or iPhone into a playable guitar. It's a free download, and then you can download the songs that you want to learn to play. In Bangkok, a man left $450,000 worth of stuff.
What? In the back of a taxi?
Yeah, he did.
Well, what kind of stuff are we talking about here? A suitcase worth of cash?
No, it was jewelry in cardboard boxes.
Jewelry and really expensive cardboard boxes?
In cardboard boxes.
Oh, jewelry in cardboard boxes. Well,
apparently they must.
And he just left it?
Must have been really small.
But
boxes.
Very valuable pieces of jewelry.
Well, the story says
$450,000.
It says he was distracted, and it's a lot of gold jewelry. Apparently, this guy is a gold seller.
I'd have to be really, really distracted to leave $450,000 worth of anything in the back of a cab.
Well, it says that he was distracted and forgot because he was helping his sick wife. She must have been really sick.
Yeah. Okay. So this is life or death situation. I understand that. Your wife is about to die, or $450,000. You make the choice. Sounds like he made the right choice. So he's to be applauded for being forgetful.
Well, you're interpreting sick wife as like there was something wrong with her. Maybe she was sick, like in like a rapper lingo.
Oh, like she was awesome.
She's so sick, I just got distracted by her.
Oh,
or maybe maybe it's like, but maybe it's negative, like she's sick, like she's just gross and she talks about nasty stuff all the time.
He was grossed out to the point, oh my gosh, I'm so grossed out, I've forgotten that there's $450,000 worth of jewelry in boxes back here with me. I'm getting out of here.
This sick wife could be interpreted in so many different ways. That's the problem with the English language. You know, we need words that mean one thing.
I love the fact that, so this guy leaves $450,000 in a cab, and he's basically blaming his wife.
Yep.
You know,
I was helping my sick wife. Look, she's so sick. Take that how you will.
He is not getting points for
that.
But
here's the good news. This guy, it says that 3 days later, the taxi driver, I guess his conscience gets the best of him, and he returns it. So he waited 3 days, and the police were skeptical and offered the gold seller an opportunity to press charges. But you know what the gold seller did? He said, not only am I not going to press charges, I'm going to give this guy 2 necklaces together worth about $10,000 as a reward for giving me back all this jewelry that I'm going to put on my sick wife when she starts getting sick.
In order to make up for the fact that he blamed her for the whole incident. Now, so that's not even 10%. I think that was a good gesture. He didn't press charges. Of course he shouldn't have pressed charges. Even if it takes 3 days, you know, the guy should still be rewarded. I think if he would have done it immediately, he could have gotten 10%. He could have gotten over $40,000 worth of jewelry. With each day that he waited, it was incremented down.
I don't think there's any etiquette to this situation.
Well, it does remind me of a situation. So leave a comment if you have had anything lost, and especially if it was of value. And then if it was returned to you, let us know. Because that's what happened to me. I wouldn't say lost. I would just say stolen.
Okay.
It was taken from my possession. This was back in 2008. We were on the last leg of the Alka-Seltzer Great American Road Trip, which is a playlist. We'll link to it in the description. You can watch the 21 videos we made in 2008, sponsored by Alka-Seltzer. But one of them was a fake movie trailer that we shot in Washington, D.C., where you played
Abraham Lincoln.
And I played
Martin Van Buren.
And
it was a time travel movie that should have been made, but it was just a trailer. That's all we ever did.
It can still be made. It's not too late. But you can watch that. I think contract negotiations are not happening. Honestly.
But one of the scenes we shot in Ben's Chili Bowl, which is like this really popular chili restaurant in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were in there.
And all of our, it was the last thing we were shooting before we were to get on a plane and come back home. Mm-hmm. So all of our possessions that we have for the whole week, like our suitcase, laptop, all of that stuff, were in 2 different cars.
We've been traveling for a week. Or no, we've been traveling for about 10 days by that point.
Right. And so we're going to shoot this thing and then we're going to leave. it was so hot that they left the air conditioning running in the car so I could go back there in my Martin Van Buren outfit and not sweat my makeup off.
Because we were going from place to place all around Washington, D.C., filming scenes for the trailer. And we were outside, we were inside, and you had a fake bald cap and sideburns.
But then they decided, the guy who was keeping the car running decided to leave the car running so it would stay cool, but then to leave it. And to leave the car unlocked.
Which is especially smart to do in Washington, D.C., which is really smart to do.
In the area we were in. So I go back to the car and we're done with the shoot. And it's like, okay, let's go to the airport. And I realize my entire laptop bag has been stolen. Now, but this doesn't just mean that my laptop was stolen. This means that my video camera that I had in there was stolen. And my journal, which all of my deepest thoughts were in there. And then also my license, because I was wearing different pants. I didn't have my wallet. My wallet was stolen, and my passport was stolen.
And your passport, which...
This is a devastating loss.
And we weren't... I don't know if you were, like, preparing for international travel, but you had your passport for some reason and all this stuff. Did you think that Washington, D.C. was, like, outside of the country? It's actually the capital of the country.
I don't know why
you don't have to have a passport to go to Washington, D.C. or to leave Washington, D.C., which we were trying to do.
So it was all stolen.
But you're also an iPad. iPod. This is before the iPad. You had an iPod, laptop, camera, journal, license,
It was
passport.
a devastating loss. I was dejected. So I was so dejected that we still went to the airport, and that's when I realized I can't get on a plane. I can't go through security. I have no form of identification, passport, license, nothing. So then at the last minute, we have to go and we have to rent a car and we have to drive home, and you have to drive because I don't even have a license.
I thought about teaching Link a lesson, even though it wasn't his fault, and just flying home and making him drive himself home, but he didn't even have a license.
It was another guy's
fault. Or
fault.
his passport, which you also do not need to rent a car.
And I didn't have a sick wife there, so I couldn't blame her for this.
So it kind of became a bonding experience. Not that we need to bond any more than we have over the past however many years we've known each other, but we drove from Washington, D.C. back home, and it's one of those things where you've been on the road for 10 days, and we were driving the entire time. You're like, oh, I'm going to get on this short flight back to North Carolina, and then we can just crash. But no, we have to drive now.
Well, and just having everything stolen is extremely disconcerting.
Because there's a guy out there with your journal. There's a guy out there with your reading my deepest and darkest thoughts.
Yeah, everything that happened.
And he knows who they are because he's got your identification.
I know. I planned on selling it one day to be made into a movie.
Really?
Yeah, and those hopes were dashed. But here's my point. 2 weeks later, I get a phone call. Because I did have my phone, by the way. They didn't steal my phone.
You kept that on your person.
I had that on my person.
Hello?
I say, hello, and they say, could I speak to Charles? That's my real first name. My middle name is Lincoln.
Is that the name that's on your passport?
Yes. I said, could I speak to Charles? And I said, this is he. He says, I have your passport here. Have you lost it? I was like, well, if you have it, well, yeah, I didn't gift it to you. And I said, who are you? Where did you find it?
You thought this was a thief calling.
Yeah, and he said, well, I drive a cab. I'm a taxi driver, and I found your passport on the hood of the car, on the roof of the car, on the outside of the car, on top of it. How crazy is that? So then I started thinking about it, and I realized someone took my laptop bag, hopped in a taxi, started rummaging through everything, and I just pictured him going through everything, and then
camera, yes, iPod, yes, laptop, yes, journal, oh yeah, passport. I don't need this. Put it on the top.
Put it on the top.
This is how I talked.
They didn't chunk it. So the guy mails me my passport, and I give him my address and everything. My phone number was in my passport, by the way. That's how he knew how to call me.
Smart Link.
I wrote it in there, but that's the only thing that was recovered. And so he mails it to me, and then on the return address, I just sent the guy a 20.
Oh, you sent him a 20.
I gave him a 20.
I didn't know you paid him anything.
Yeah, I gave him a 20.
That's 10%.
He deserved it.
I don't know. I'm just trying to go by the etiquette that you established earlier on.
Yeah, that would be $4. I think they're $40, but it's priceless. It is replaceable, I guess.
Okay. So, thief, if you're out there to this day, you have Link's laptop, his journal. Publish that on the internet. I think that could bring us some positive attention.
Yeah, maybe it could still be made into a movie. I just can't remember any of it. Okay, we're spinning the wheel of mythicality. If you want us to put something on the wheel, you can send us your idea on Facebook or Twitter.
You really spun it this time, Link. Whoa.
And when it stops,
This
we'll
is
know
a record spin.
how to end this episode.
You're a little worked up because you're thinking about that guy who's out there reading your journal. And on March 25th.
Link?
That's not today. I was just saying that when he reads it.
Link is a zombie. So what does this mean? This means that I guess I'm a zombie.
I don't know. We're seeking replacements. I don't know when this happened, but he's been trying to eat my flesh for weeks. Please call your local representatives or just comment on our Facebook page. I'm looking for a new partner. I mean, like a partner on YouTube. See you tomorrow.
I ate your earlobe.
Zombies don't talk. Have you not watched Walking Dead? They can't speak. And they like to eat brains, not arms and stuff.
Oh.
I ate your brain.
Go. You need to go to zombie school before you become a zombie.